Welcome to CABSAT TV down here in our studio hub, and very pleased to be joined by Martin Gaiss, the Senior Vice President from 20th Century Fox. For content, that's your responsibility. Welcome to CABSAT. Your first time here?
Yep.
How are you finding it so far?
I love it.
Yeah.
It's very dynamic. It's a great world out there. I left Fox 2 weeks ago to sort of form my own production and consulting outfit because there's a couple of things that I think we can do better and differently. But it's a really interesting and challenging region, I think. It's a very interesting and challenging time. So it feels the right place at the right time for me.
And you know, we've often spoken in this area and this region about how unique it is in terms of content consumption. But that is changing. It's becoming the norm, isn't it? It really is.
It sounds like, from what I understand and from what I've heard now, is a very young region in terms of audience engagement and what people are consuming and how they're consuming it. Just to listen to this one guy talk about how they're getting their consumers 18 to 24 through the mobile audience, it feels like they're just bypassing, this entire region almost just bypasses a very traditional TV model. And I think that probably has a lot of people sort of shaking and shivering. But I think it's a great challenge. And I think if I were a traditional broadcaster, I would really start looking into what is my digital, what is my mobile strategy, what is everything that I want to do.
And you know, that ability, I guess, to leapfrog sort of a generation of technology and a way of consumption is key for this region. You were talking about the next generation of filmed entertainment and how it's all about on-demand and personalized content for the on-demand. Talk me through what you discussed.
Well, I think what we're seeing very much is the age of us, I'm saying us, as a content provider, going to the audience and expecting them to be there is gone. You know, the proliferation of how it's consumed, where it's consumed, when it's consumed is incredible. There's such an explosion, and it's all about the consumer. It's all about the audience, and it's about what they consume, where they consume it, and how they do it. And I think for us, it is now incumbent on us to say, okay, we're going to give you what you want instead of we're going to offer you something, you like it or not. So it's really important, I think, that this whole model is being switched around, that we're going towards the audience and moving towards the audience on their devices, on their mobile devices, on their connected TVs, on their everything else. Not just mobile devices, but also architecture is a medium as well. That we talked about Minority Report, how that is an integral part of a medium now. And it is now happening, where I was just in a meeting where they talked about how you actually can start scanning the retina and all these things. These are things that are not going to be far away anymore, where you're going to be seeing your mobile phone is recognized by a Bluetooth activator on a poster, and you will get a movie message. All these things are already happening. So everything is connected everywhere all the time.
And as a trend that's developing all the time, and you know, I see it myself at home. The kids are watching TV, and I'm the parent, and I'm saying, concentrate on what you're watching. And they've got a tablet going here, and their phones go, and consuming media across so many screens at once. How do you monetize that? How do you keep the engagement from a content producer?
I think, well, it's a big challenge, but also I think it's a great opportunity, because if you figure out how to, let me rephrase this. I think what's really important is that we know what the consumer is doing, when they're doing it, and where they're doing it. If you're able to figure out what their behaviors are, when are they consuming maybe a show on interconnected TV, but then there's an advertising break, you know from experience, from data, that your consumer may be checking out their emails. Maybe they're going to talk to their husband or their wife about what are we going to do on the weekend. So when an ad break comes around, and they may not be watching it, but they're going to look at their emails. There's an email popping up saying, how about the weekend, in Saudi Arabia or something like that. I think that's a big sort of way of really monetizing a lot of the content that we're putting out there. And also, a lot of the content is now produced and consumed for digital. I think we talked about this. I read something that a very large amount of the digital content is now produced on mobile phones. So everybody has to have a mobile-first strategy. A lot of people have to start thinking about not just screens in terms of this is the first screen, this is the second screen. I think there's still a bit of an idea of the first screen is the TV, the second screen is the mobile phone, the third screen is the tablet, etc., etc. Doesn't matter anymore. It's really about who's our audience and where do they consume what they consume. So it's really more about how do we go to these people and how do we get them. Wouldn't it be great if you have this constant sort of ping pong ball going all over the place from connected devices and accompanying the consumer sort of along this journey to whatever they want to do.
Thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.